Yelling, I'm gonna turn that TV off. Kids playing this goddamn video. All right, y'all. So we live? Is we live in the building? Let me make sure we live. And we are live. All right, y'all. So what up with you, man? It is your boy West Coast. We still got that same title up there. I gotta change that. See if I can change that in a little bit. But yo, we had some kind of interesting news a couple minutes ago. The Dallas Cowboys went ahead and released tight end Rico Gathers. We drafted him in 2016. To be exact, I think he was the 6th round pick, right? 6th round pick. Well, we drafted him out of Baylor. He was an experiment. We always knew he was an experiment. He was a guy that we were going to obviously try to coach up. We were going to try to coach him up. But that, in my opinion, never really happened. You know what I'm saying? So the Dallas Cowboys did go ahead and part ways with Rico Gathers today. But yo, man, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was actually doing a video on this whole release of Rico Gathers. And then I got irritated and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go live because I just need to get it off. I just need to get it off my chest and just kind of talk about it for a little bit. And then I can talk back with y'all and y'all can make me feel good or make me feel worse. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know how y'all do. But yo, man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys really used or even attempted to use Rico Gathers the way he should have been used. You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, for the last 3.5 years, Rico Gathers has been either sitting on a bench or sitting on a practice squad. And my thing is this, man. If you're going to bring in a guy who hasn't played football and almost, like, literally, Rico Gathers hadn't played football since he was in 8th grade. If you're going to bring in a guy who hasn't played football in since like 5-6 years before you draft him, you would have the expectation that you're going to be coaching the hell out of this dude, right? And that you're going to be coaching him. What's up with you guys? You're going to be coaching him up and getting him prepared to enter into the NFL. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just really didn't see that with Rico Gathers. Like, and my thing is this. You can't tell me that Rico Gathers couldn't block because that's not true. If the kid couldn't block, then why in the hell was he in on 70% of your block packages? On your 12-man personnel, guess who was in? Rico Gathers. On the fourth and one play, they didn't even run his way either, but the 4th and 1 play against the Rams when your season's on the line, guess who was on the field? Rico Gathers. Rico Gathers played in 14 games last year. So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, but he didn't really play. Yo, the Cowboys chose not to play him. The exact same thing that they did with Ryan Switzer. Like the exact same thing that they did with Ryan Switzer. Rico Gathers is a product of a team that just really wants something but don't know what they're going to do with it. That's my opinion of Rico Gathers. Like, you know how you get your kid just really wants something really bad, really bad, and you give it to them, they don't even know what to do with it now. They just like, I remember there was this gizmo toy that my daughter wanted, man, for Christmas. And man, I damn near drove to Monrovia to get this goddamn toy. I live in Rialto, you know, I don't know how far that is, but that's far, man. That's like someone saying you drove from like, god dang, where I don't know, that's like saying you drove from like Fort Worth to the Colonies, or like Fort Worth to eat Little Elm. You know what I'm saying? That's far, bruh. You know, that's far. And I drove far as heck to go get this toy, man. And did you know my daughter played with it for like a day, literally like a day, and didn't even play with it no more. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think that's kind of how the Cowboys were. I think the Cowboys got excited at the onset of what he was and what he could have been, and then realized that they did not have the tools or the assets to make him into what they had visualized him into being one day. You know what I'm saying? I think the Dallas Cowboys had visualized him into being this elusive tight end, running down the sideline, scoring mad points and over jumping people. But I just don't think that when it all came to materialize, that the Dallas Cowboys themselves had the coaching staff to really help these guys. I mean, and to be honest with you, you don't even just see that with Rico Gathers. You see that with all the tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Like when Jason Witten left his team last year, our tight end room was bare. You know what I'm saying? That lets me know that we either didn't have a coach or Jason Witten was the coach. And when he left, guess what? The coach left with him. You know what I'm saying? Last year, our tight ends, that's why I was yelling all year. Like, yo, don't draft no damn tight end. Do not draft the tight end. Why? Don't draft the tight end. Why? Because we don't even use them. We barely even use the tight end in the packages. So it's like, that's why I was so adamant about us not drafting him. I just felt that the best thing that we could do for our tight ends was to utilize the ones we had better. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. When I was at the blue and white game yesterday, you guys heard me. You guys, y'all already know Rico, that's my dude, man. I got mad love for Rico. He's a solid dude. There are just people, there are players, there are players on the Dallas Cowboys who just showed love, and not just because I just think they just showed me love because they just a solid dude. They're just a good person, you know what I'm saying? And that's how Rico was. Rico was one of those dudes who just showed your boy West Coast love, just on some just solid stuff. So, I always was pulling for him and was hoping for the best. But, this is it's a Martellus Bennett situation where you have, players that come onto this team that don't get developed and go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to hear this of, this, that. The Cowboys had to have seen something. Rico Gathers was the highest paid practice player in the NFL. Imagine that. He was the highest paid practice player in the NFL from 2016 and 17. So it's if you're paying someone $550,000, look about this. Dak was making only $26,000 more. Why? Because Rico got drafted in the 6 and Dak got drafted in the 4. They was basically making the same amount of money. You know what I'm saying? But the only difference is they valued what Dak was doing on the field, and Rico Gathers was not getting an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Rico Gathers was a project. I will 100% agree with it. But my thing is this. If you were driving down the street and you see a busted up car on the side of the road and you say, hey, I should fix that up. I could take that. I can make it great. And then you take that car and let it sit in your driveway. Is it the car's fault or is it your fault? That's your fault. And sometimes I honestly think that the Dallas Cowboys draft players just so that other teams won't get them. You know what I'm saying? That's what I honestly think. I think there are times where the Dallas Cowboys will literally draft a player just to prevent him from going to another team. You know what I'm saying? As far as management, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that there was a lot of rumors and speculations that the New England Patriots were very, very, were very aggressive and we're going to try to go get Rico Gathers. But the Dallas Cowboys jumped in front of him and saw him. I think it's kind of like one of them situations where you see someone else like something and you be like, oh, if they like it, it must be good. You know what I'm saying? But what they failed to realize is the New England Patriots have a pretty damn good tight end coach who's helped Gronkowski be good, helped Aaron Gonzalez be good, and then I forget the tight end they had before that guy, but he was actually pretty good too. You know what I'm saying? So they have actually had, they understand what to do. I wouldn't mind if you say the Dallas Cowboys are going to have a project running back. Why? Because we do pretty good with running backs. I wouldn't mind if we had a project linebacker. Why? Because we do pretty good with linebackers. Rolando McClain retired twice, came to the Dallas Cowboys, was one of the best players in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So we do good with certain positions. But tight end, and I'm going to blame this 100% on Jason Witten. Why? Because Jason Witten's been good for so long that he ain't need no coach. So Jerry Jones why I need a coach? You know what I'm saying? I got Jason Witten. And think about this, man. Even when Jason Witten came back, they didn't get no coach. What did they say? Jason Witten, you're going to be the coach. They were very adamant about saying that Jason Witten, you're going to be the player coach. You're going to be, he's going to be a player. He's going to be a player coach also. So, I think this is I think Rico Gathers. Hold up real quick. Give me 10 minutes. Give me, hold up. Yeah. So, hold up real quick. Make sure they know I'm coming. Hey, sorry about that, y'all. I gotta cut this a little short, but anyway, long story short, man. I was gonna do a video on it, but I just thought I'd just jump on here and give you guys that Octane Really Uncut. Also, because I also wanted to read some of you guys' comments too on what you guys were talking about. A lot of times when I do videos, I can't read it till afterwards, so it's I be having people that be like, "You right, West Coast," and I be like, "Damn, appreciate you." Then I be having people that be like, "You're absolutely wrong," and I be wanting to argue with you on the spot, and I'm playing with you. I'm just playing with you. Don't do that with me, because y'all know I hate when I'm gonna tell you, training camp, man. I think that's the new way of people saying what's up the West Coast. I think people literally come up and just literally try to pick fights with me. I love it though, because it's all cowboy love. You know what I'm saying? But look, why can't we just give each other a hug and say what's up West Coast? You ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? Tony Romo is not going to the hall. Come on, bro. You know I'm gonna say something about that. But hey, I ain't tripping, man. I know that's y'all way of saying what's up and showing some love to West Coast, so I love it anyway. Chewy says it's good. They let him go. Why do you think it's good he let him go? Let me know, Chewy. What's up with you, Miss Tina? Roderick says exactly, West Coast, you were that dude. I appreciate you, man. Howard says, I hope he gets a fair chance with another organization. I believe he will get a fair chance with an organization. You want to know why? Because another organization isn't going to have any stereotypes on him. A stereotype meaning, oh, he hasn't played football in a long time. Oh, he's a rapper. Oh, he doesn't look like Jason Witten. Oh, he doesn't do this. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the best way to make the Dallas Cowboys as a tight end is to look like Jason Witten. Like, to be honest with you, that's the best way to make a tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, because that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for anything different. They're looking for Jason Witten. They're looking for a guy to come in and step in and take Jason Witten's spot. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the closest look to a Jason Witten is that boy Blake Jarwin. And I mean, and to his credit, Blake has been balling. Like, he has been balling. Like 100. Like, I think I said this on air yesterday, man. I said, yo, straight up, like, have you ever had someone that you really, really, really like? But then there's another dude that's just balling and you can't help it. That was Blake Jarwin. That was that Blake Jarwin. Like, Blake Jarwin's out there moving like a seamless tight end. Like, I know there's reports saying he looked like a wide receiver. I don't know about that, because our wide receivers are fast. You know what I'm saying? So our wide receivers look like wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Well, at least they're fast like wide receivers. Our DBs actually look like wide receivers because they're taller than all the wide receivers, actually. It's funny. I would say almost all of our corners are tighter than our wide receivers. Like, I would almost go to say that most of our corners are taller than our wide receivers. That's crazy, right? But, yeah, man. Dwayne says Zeke is going to eat on that road 6. I 100% agree with you. Kerry says, yep. That's why Swain left. He said he wanted him to run and block and play like Witt, and that wasn't his game. Hey, you're absolutely right, Kerry Teagle. Hey, man, I love it when people are aggressive about being known about their Cowboys, and then we be on here getting information. That was a random, like Kerry, that was a random conversation that Boss Cowboy had with Swaim at the sports con, but because you listened to it, you were able to use it as context, and you're absolutely right. My boy Swain said it. He said, you know, when because I ain't gonna lie, me and Boss Cowboy, I mean, we trying to make friends. I ain't gonna lie, we trying to make friends. We definitely want to be friends with players. But at the same time, like, you guys support us because we get that real and uncut. So we not out there asking them dumb questions. Like, it don't benefit me nothing to have, one of the most important people in the Dallas Cowboy franchise in front of me, and me ask them a dumb question. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So me and Boss Cowboy, we gonna keep it all the way real and uncut, man. If we say you can't cover, if we say you take bad angles, when we see you, we gonna say it very, very nicely. Bruh, what are you doing to fix them angles? You know what I'm saying? Or bruh, what are you doing to get more interceptions? Byron Jones, a.k.a. Byron Jones. You know what I'm saying? So, my boy Boss Cowboy, and yo, man, I want to let y'all know, my boy Boss Cowboy, it always seems like whenever I get a co-host and we start bumping and gumping and everything is good, the Lord bless them with a new job or bless them with an opportunity that they've been waiting for all their life. You know what I'm saying? So my boy Boss Cowboy got a dope blessing. That's huge for him and his family, and that's part of the reason why we not off the show. He's just handling getting through his probationary time, so then he can kind of finagle his hours and stuff like that. But my boy Boss will be back on the show, so don't trip. But Boss Cowboy said it, man. He said it. When we talked to him. Hold on real quick. Okay. When we talked to Swain, we asked Swain, like, he basically asked him, like, what was some of the things you liked about being in Dallas? What kind of stuff you didn't like being in Dallas? And Swain said that one of the things that he did not like or that he didn't prefer is that they were trying to make him into Jason Witten, and that was not his game. Like, he's like, yeah, I love, everybody loves Witt, he's the GOAT, blase, but at the same time, like, I'm Jeff Swain. Like, I gotta be who I am. I got to the NFL being who I am in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be another dude. You know what I'm saying? And you can't hold me to the standards of another dude. You know what I'm saying? So, that was a great comment. I appreciate you, Kerry, for paying attention and dropping that because that was a jewel. But you're absolutely right, man. I think a lot of times the Dallas Cowboys have tried to make players to be other folks. And I think Rico Gathers is definitely a kind of like, because you got to see it like this. When they drafted Rico Gathers, there was something about him that they liked. There was something in him that they saw. So I just don't see that that just went away. Like, I just don't see how that just went away. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing about it is, it didn't just go away. He didn't have the weed thing. He didn't have the weed thing until this past year. Like, he didn't have, and I know some people try to use that as an off-field issue, but he didn't have the weed thing until 2018. That happened this year. So that means 16 and 17. What was happening those years? Like, what was happening those years? When he just wasn't playing. When you was paying him to do nothing. And think about this, man. You had people that we cut. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, like, that'd be the stuff that kind of perplexes me as far as my Dallas Cowboys. As one of the people that they bring on this team, it's like, you know, him and Ryan Switzer are just kind of like, you know, I know we were real big on Will McClay and the things he's done, but I asked myself, like, why did we draft Rico Gathers to never use him? You know what I'm saying? And I know as a fan base, we already have those fans that are going to blame Rico for his production, like Rico gets to pick and choose when he gets in the game. Like, players don't do that. Two of the biggest misconceptions that I run into with fans is, one, they think that players get to put themselves in the game whenever they want to. And they don't necessarily believe that by their action, by their words, but they definitely believe it by their action. Well, Rico wasn't even in the game. He was this. I'm like, well, he can't put himself in the game. Like, he just can't physically put himself in the game. So if they're activating him and he's on the active roster, you would think that he'd play him, right? Well, they weren't. You know what I'm saying? They also did the same thing to Martellus Bennett, who ended up having a pretty darn good career. So let's not be naive and seem like we ain't seen this song before. Like, let's not be naive and not pretend like we haven't heard this song before, because we have seen it before. You know what I'm saying? And then most importantly, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I love my Cowboys, but it's two things that I get really, really nervous, man. Two things that I get really nervous when I hear. And one, I get nervous when I hear statements like, you know, Jerry Jones, you know, especially from fans. The two things is they believe that that players can put themselves in a game. And then I also think there's a core of fans that believe that players just purposely get injured, because there are fans that literally hold injuries against players as if that's what they're planning to do. Like, no one's planning to get injured. Like, you know, these things just kind of happen. You know what I'm saying? So Rico Gathers, he was never one of those as far as the injury bug, but I could definitely see where, you know, he's going to get some backlash as far as his playing time and his abilities. But I definitely think that the Cowboys saw something in him. They just didn't materialize. And then most importantly, I don't think they had the coach on their staff to do what they wanted to do with Rico. And the cool thing about the game is, despite that, he still had flashes of what he could do. Like, think about this. The touchdowns, the really good touchdowns that we think about that Rico had in preseason, that was from his first year. That was from his first year in the NFL. So just think about if you would have just built on that. If you just built off what he was able to do his first year in the NFL as far as preseason. You know what I'm saying? The touchdowns and not even from Dak Moore, from Cooper Rush. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hear nobody saying that, you know, the Cowboys didn't see any type of something. I believe they did see something. I just believe it was just more like Switzer, where they saw it, they just didn't know how to get it out of it. And to be honest with you, that's on the team, because Rico didn't choose to come to the Cowboys. They drafted him there. So when you draft me, that means you have a plan for me. That means if I don't know how to do it, you'll show me how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Free agents is kind of different. When you're in a free agent, you're kind of selling the team on what you can do. Like, I can do this, I can come in, I can help you with this, da-da-da-da-da. When you're a draft pick, no. My film has already told you what I can do. Now you're going to come to me and say, I'm going to draft you, and anything else I'm going to assist you with. I'm going to coach you up. What's another word they use? Prepare you. You know what I'm saying? But just to be real, man, when it comes to any position group, what position? With the Dallas, we just don't prepare players well. Like, we don't do projects well. Like, you name me a project that is coming. I think the best project, that you could say project, is probably like Cole Beasley. Like, I think that's probably the biggest project that you could say. You know what I'm saying? But we don't really do good with projects. Guys that are considered projects. I wouldn't consider Jalen Smith a project. He was just injured. Jalen Smith was considered a top 3 pick who just got injured. That's all that was. So, we can't teach you how to cook. But if you buy all the food and you bring the ingredients, we could probably make it taste decent. But just coming out of our head and seeing some dish, like my wife, man, my wife is a beast in the kitchen. I love her. I'm going to tell you one thing my wife don't do. I ain't going to say that. I'm going to tell you this. One thing that my wife does really, really well. See how I flipped that? Is my wife can any recipe in the world. She can take that recipe and it'll look and taste exactly how the picture look and the recipe look. But if I just sit down and I just be like, hey, I want some subi dabo do, my wife gonna be like, I need to Google that real quick. Hey, you right, Fonzo. I caught myself though. My wife gonna be like, nah, I need a recipe. I need direction in which way to go. If you can give me the direction, I can get you there. And it probably even tastes better than what it looked. It will taste better than what it looks. Shout out my wife watching right now, all 90. One of y'all is my lady, I know. Because I've seen her notification pop up. But, see, now y'all got me all nervous, man. But yeah, baby, you know what you do, man. You know what you do online. You know what you do. Go on, like, literally, man, and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, she'll get a restaurant and put that thing together. But, like, the Dallas Cowboys, that's what we are. Like, if you give us the ingredients, if you give us the recipe, we'll get it there. We'll get it there. Dak Prescott is the ingredients and the recipe. We're getting them there. Meaning, I mean, I don't want, like, Dak Prescott is not a prospect. He was not a prospect. Dak Prescott was pretty damn good in college, and he outplayed Carson Wentz in the Senior Bowl. The only difference is Carson Wentz was more touted. That's it, because he had way more yards. But I don't consider Dak Prescott a project. I don't. And if he is, he just got a coach year 3. Year 4. He just got a coach year 4. So if he is a project, that's even more proof of how we do projects. If Dak is what you consider a project, think about this. We gave Dak the keys and said drive it. That's what we did. That's what we do to projects. We give them the keys and we tell them to drive it and expect them to have the expectations of a Jason Witten. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe because I got a gang of kids, I gotta have patience. I gotta understand that you gotta teach these kids something, and you can only hold a person responsible for the stuff you teach them. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do with my kids. I only hold them responsible for the stuff I teach them. If I ain't teach them, you get a pass this one, and then the next time I'm gonna get on your butt. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think the Dallas Cowboys. And the thing about it is, if you're not able to do that, then guess what? You're never going to be able to find diamonds in the rough. But guess what? You have guys like Rob Marinelli who's able to do it all the time. He found Antoine Woods. He found David Irving. He found, who else he found? I mean, he led the push on Robert Quinn. I mean, he found Terrell McClain, Jason Hatcher. I saw Jason Hatcher name in there. Whoever said Jason Hatcher, salute to you. Nathaniel James Hightower, what up with you, man? You a real smart dude. It don't surprise me that you say that. Nathan says, was Ratcliffe a project? I'm asking. I don't know. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Ratcliffe a top draft pick too, though? Roderick says that Jason taught Rico the same thing he taught Bennett, which is absolutely nothing. And it's crazy, too, because that was part of the reason why Michael Bennett was hating on Jason Witten so tough. I remember Michael Bennett wrote this crazy article. I mean, he didn't write it, but he responded to this crazy article. And he was, like, basically saying that, like, Jason Witten was selfish and all this other stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, I went in on Martellus Bennett because I don't like him or his brother. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to use this because he was probably right, but I still don't like you, Martellus Bennett. I don't care. Even if you was telling the truth, I still don't like you because you talk too much. But yeah, man, some of the stuff that Martellus Bennett was saying was kind of credible, man. Like, some of the stuff that he was saying was kind of credible, you know what I'm saying? But we shall see the difference. Ratcliffe, my bad. He's 7th round pick. My bad, bro. Joe Johnson said, Joe Jackson, come on. Can Joe Jackson come up? Okay. Rico looked better. Rico looked good before he hit the second practice 2 years ago. He did. Romo. I don't consider Romo a project either because the San Francisco 49ers were trying to pay Romo to go to San Francisco. They actually offered him $25,000 more. Romo turned it down because he felt that he had a better opportunity to start in Dallas because he kind of knew that they were not feeling Carter as much as they were leading him on to be. So even Tony Romo, I don't really consider, like, if they did, who coached Tony? Like, I don't think anybody really coached Tony, and if he did, why he didn't get a job to coach somebody else? Like, I really think that Tony coached himself. Like, hence the reason why they didn't know how to coach Dak. Like, they didn't really know how to fix Dak. You know what I'm saying? They went and got John Kitna. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have him on his staff. Why? Because Tony Romo knew how to do it. Like, they didn't even need Jason Garrett to call plays. Want to know why? Because Tony Romo did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're not that team who can just, come in the house and be like, yo, can you make me something really bomb to eat? And they just come out their butt and make it. Like, we're just not that team. Give us the ingredients and give us a recipe. We'll make it work. Like, this year, we have the ingredients. Why? Because we got the players. And guess what? We got the recipe. Why? Because we got Kellen Moore and his new look offense. This month better work. You know what I'm saying? It better work. You know what I'm saying? We got the ingredients. We got what we needed. Better work. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, man, this is kind of my take real quick on, y'all already know. Daryl says Sean Payton coached Romo for the Dallas Cowboys, he did? Okay. Tony Romo didn't really give him a whole lot of credit, I'll be honest with you. He gave the credit, Tony Romo in his speech and his he gave most of that credit to not Bledsoe, but to Parcells. Like, if you go look at my Cowboys life, my football life, he don't really give him credit like that. He give all that credit to Parcells. You know what I'm saying? So I can only go by off of what Tony Romo says. Yes, I was being facetious, Roderick. I was being facetious when he was here. Courtney says, yeah, the big fish gave Romo the opportunity. Hey, I'm not saying that Sean Payton didn't help him. I'm just saying when Tony Romo was able to give him an opportunity to speak on the people that helped him, he didn't really mention Sean Payton. That's all I'm saying. He probably did help him. But I'm just saying he said tuna. Like, everything that comes out of Romo's mouth is tuna. Like, he gives tuna most of all the credit for him. You know what I'm saying? So, if it was, you gotta talk to Tony Romo about that. Okay, it says, Howard says, I wish Tony would come to Dallas as our next head coach. I doubt that. Courtney, Big Tuna, my bad. Yeah, Big Tuna and Parcells the same dude. You know what I'm saying? Jose says Sean Payton went to SA. Yeah, I get all that, y'all. I get that. Sean Payton was his best friend in 3rd grade. I get it. When Tony Romo had an opportunity to thank those people, he did not say Sean Payton. That's all I'm saying. Wine Sister said Cowboys didn't utilize him. Yeah, I remember that. I'm pretty sure Rico's going to say the same thing, y'all. But, hey, y'all, it's 5:08, man. I got to get out of here, man. I got to get to my class real quick. But you guys, make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to have tomorrow we'll be back on our regular broadcast as far as shows and things like that. Have our, I'll actually be back at training camp. I should be back at training camp tomorrow. So you guys already know what it is, man. Never look down because the star is up. Peace.